everyone. It's Sharri Savage, otherwise known as Sharri Burgraff. I was diagnosed with DID in 1993. Sounds like a poem or a rap song. Back in the day, it was called multiple personality. Don't worry, I'm not like Sybil. I think they might have changed it from multiple personality to DID because patients kept expecting to get group discounts. And it was causing too much confusion when people would go to a restaurant. When one person said they wanted a table for 20, it sounded like an exclusive VIP club that everyone wanted to join. So, how many out there are cat lovers? What about multiple cats? No, not cats with DID, but more than one cat. I used to do stand up comedy, no joke, under the name, like I said, Sharri Savage, dressed in leopard print, even down to my leopard print sunglasses. Eye of the tiger blaring for my intro, the whole shebang. The biggest hit that won me Iowa's funniest comedian contest was the night I played the stripper song. Don't worry, I didn't take off my clothes. I was dressed up really sexy, except for the dishwashing gloves and a rag that I had in one hand and Formby's stain remover in the other to take the wooden stool that I had on stage and pretended to strip off that old stain in a very sexy manner with an ending where I took off the gloves one finger at a time and then threw that out in the audience, and a pair of panties that I had stuffed down into my bra that landed in a guy's face. The guy never did give me back my panties, but the people didn't seem to want the dishwashing gloves. Obviously, they didn't like clean comedy. But here's the kicker: no one knew back then that I had DID. I did, but talk about hiding in plain sight. Now here I am with no flashy getup, just me, unmasked, unfiltered, and apparently unmedicated. Who knew comedy could be so therapeutic? My son and I, every time we talk on the phone, hey Jay, we are going to do stand-up comedy again together. But I even had him come on stage with me one time. But anyway, we talk on the phone and we just roll with laughter. And I really think that laughter is the best medicine. There's a lot of stuff that happens in life where it's just way too serious. Back when I lived in the area where there was a trucking company with the name CRST Trucking, I was like, I wonder what that stands for, because nowhere on the truck or the trailer, not even the mud flaps, could I find any address or anything about what CRST Trucking stood for. So I got to thinking, I'm really big on acronyms. In fact, I started a nonprofit organization called Shout for Help in the 90s, and it stood for Survivors Helping Others Unite Together, which is kind of what we do here at this conference, Healing Together. I came up with the answer to this trucking dilemma. CRST, you know that stuff that you can't remember? Well, they've got it and they're hauling it around. It stands for can't remember stuff trucking. You know, like I said, the stuff you can't remember, and they're driving around with my stuff. So one day I thought, I'm going to march into that office and I'm going to tell them, hey, I want my stuff. I know you've got it and you've been hauling it around. Give me back my stuff. I know you've got it, but I can't remember what it is, but I want it back. The trouble is, like I said, I can't remember what it is, and nobody knows where that office is even located. So those trucks just keep driving around, going down memory lane. Need that old high school yearbook you misplaced? CRST's got you covered. Can't find your car keys for the umpteenth time? Just call CRST. They probably picked them up on their last run. But let me tell you, their service doesn't stop there. Nope. They even specialize in hauling away your memory lapses. What's going to happen if I ever get dementia? Are those trucks going to start pulling up at the nursing home saying, hey, we got a delivery for Sharri. She used to be quite a savage, you know. And they start stalking me. What then? They still will have my stuff. I can remember this as if it was just yesterday. I was driving on the interstate by Des Moines, Iowa, back when the Holiday Inns changed the new amenities and had a whole new look. You've probably seen it yourself. There it was, a big sign, so tall you could see it from the interstate. And I'm like, the Holiday Inn Express? What the heck is that all about? So I just had to go off the ramp that went to where I could see that Holiday Inn. So I pulled off the interstate, and the first thing I noticed was a huge parking lot. And so I got off the ramp, and sure enough, there was a drive-through window. And the hotel was so small, the parking lot was the biggest of everything about it. And I got to thinking, okay, this drive up window, I guess that's where you go. And so that's how they do it. You go through the drive up window and you check in, you give them your credit card, and then they give you a blanket, a pillow, and the parking spot number that you'll be sleeping in, parked in their parking lot in the car. And so then their bathroom was a porta potty, and their alarm consisted of people pounding on the window in the morning to say, wake up. Your snooze is a rooster that's on standby to crow loudly. Guess it's time to get up. Instead of room service, they offer car service, where a car pulled up next to you and they honk their horn, beep, 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 when your car side breakfast is ready that you eat in your car. When you check out, you pull up to the drive-through again, and your shower, they hand you a bottle of shampoo and some body wash and then spray you with the hose. I went to the doctor the other day, and I was told that I was pre-diabetic. I was like, isn't everyone pre-diabetic? I asked him, do I have diabetes? And he said, no. I said, but let me get this straight. Then I could get diabetes? And I got to thinking, and I said, doctor, are you pre-diabetic? Like at some point, you could get diabetes, right? So, so then you're pre-diabetic too? I got to thinking, how many here have DID? So does that mean all you other people in the audience are pre-DID? And if someone is diagnosed with borderline personality disorder, what is all that about? Get off the fence. Either you have it or you don't have it. What's this borderline thing? Does borderline mean you really don't have a personality? Or I know, I think they made that one up. I mean, why don't they just say, I really don't know what you have? So I'm going to confuse the heck out of you by telling you that you have something that sounds horrible, just so we can write something on your chart. What do you have? Borderline personality? Well, they don't really know if I really have a personality disorder like DID. So they put me in this other category. I don't know what you all think, those of you who have DID, but some days I feel like I'm auditioning for my own reality show, The Many Faces of Me. One minute I'm like Little Miss Sunshine, spreading joy and rainbows. The next I'm Grumpy Cat, ready to claw anyone who crosses me. One minute I'm like Mary Poppins on cocaine, floating in the air with a weird dress and that stupid umbrella. And the next minute I'm like Hulk Hogan on steroids. One minute I'm like Hello Kitty, purring like a soft, fluffy kitten. And the next minute I'm like Darth Vader, ready to force choke anyone who dares to breathe too loudly in my presence. Luke, are you my father? But hey, at least I never get bored with my own company or my own reality. And if you ever see me smiling one moment and scowling the next, you'll never know if it's me or just part of the show. I had a friend that was told that she was pre anemic. She almost had anemia. She's fine, but she could become anemic. I got to thinking, does that mean somebody could be borderline anemic? I can picture getting a call from a doctor's office after getting lab work done, right? Hello? What? I'm borderline anemic? So I'm not anemic. No, you're just pre anemic, but we're calling it borderline anemia. So you're telling me I have anemia? No, you're borderline, so you're closer than someone who doesn't have it at all, but you don't actually have it yet. But you're close to that number where you could get it. So I'm anemic? No, but you're in the range where you could become anemic. So what do you want me to do? There's nothing you can do because you don't have it. Then why are you telling me this? So I can write something on your chart. You can't just not have something. After I got off the phone, I'm like, oh no, how am I supposed to face another day knowing that I almost have something that I don't have? How can I handle knowing that I have something that I don't even have and that I'm so close to having that a little red meat and little vitamin D would help if I did get it? I have 5 kids, 3 of my own, 2 stepchildren. What am I going to tell them? How do they grow up knowing, and 18 grandchildren, knowing they have a mother and a nana? That's fine. Tell you what, next time I go to the doctor's office, I'm going to tell them, I'm going to prepay you for this office visit. You know where you're close to getting paid for this, but you don't quite get the money yet because, doctor, I think you might be the one with the condition. Pre-med. It's called having a PD degree. Did you even go to medical school or did you go to preschool? Did you send your dog and get a pedigree? You know, doc, with all these preconditions, you might as well open a preventative medicine clinic. I had to go to the hospital last year twice to have both knees replaced. And while I was waiting in one of the rooms, I can't remember if I was going into surgery or coming out. Now, you'd think I'd remember something as important as what room I was in, right? Wrong. I couldn't tell if it was the pre-surgery room or the pre-recovery room. I was so confused. I started to wonder if CRST had swung by and picked up my memory as a special delivery. But I saw one of those, you know, those pain scales where they have them at the doctor's offices and hospitals, like where you rate your pain on a scale of 1 to 10. But anyway, they have these pain scales. You know what I'm talking about, right? Where 1 is like no pain at all, and 10 like being the worst pain that you've ever experienced in your entire life. And I got to thinking, what if they did the same thing, only they called it a pee scale, with 1 being not having to pee at all? No, I'm good. To 10 being across your leg, pee nearly running down your leg, like I'm going to pee my pants in 5 seconds. Can you imagine? Hey, doc, do you have to pee? The nurse comes in to take your blood pressure. Do you got to pee? On a scale of 1 to 10, how bad do you have to pee? And then go over and run the water and say, what's wrong? How would you rate your pee right now? And then you look and see the nurse with the pee running down her leg. What are you doing? Do you need some Depends? Oh, it depends on whether I pay you or not, right? So anyway, real life is so funny. I can't make this stuff up. But hey, at least now I can do the knee slapping without any pain. I even asked the doctor if I could get a pair of knees with built-in cup holders, you know, for those long walks to the fridge. He said they're still working on the prototypes. Well, I guess I'll have to stick to the old-fashioned method of carrying my drink in my hand and pretending it's a fancy accessory. Speaking of walks, I'm starting to think that my knees have a better memory than I do. I mean, they never forget to remind me that I used to be able to take the stairs instead of an elevator. And it's like my knees start to remember where I parked the car better than I do. They've never once led me to the wrong row in the parking lot. It's like they have a photographic memory. When I get to a crack in the sidewalk, they jump over it and almost trip me. It's like the knees are like, remember when you fell and broke your mom's back? No, I mean, when you stepped on the crack and broke your mom's back. It's as if they're wanting me to fall, and I can almost hear them laughing. Thinking of the advanced technology that there is, years ago, the knee replacements and just all the stuff, you know, that they used to like have, it's like I know people that had to have their knee replacements redone because they recalled the parts. And it's like, what are we, cars? But anyway, I think it's great because the knee replacement has gone well. And but I got to thinking, what if they started having drive-through surgery? Remember when you used to have surgery and you have to stay in the hospital for days? Well, the inpatient stays are getting shorter and shorter. And unless there's complications, people are getting to leave the hospital the same day. There's still cords and stuff hanging off of them. They let them go out the door. It's like, wait, you forgot something. What? I don't have to pee. So dry throat. That's what the people are saying as they leave the hospital. I have a dry throat. You got a scale for that? Anyway, so what is that called when you get out the same day? What is that called? Yeah, outpatient. Well, I'm out of here. That's my time. Thank you. I'm Sharri Savage, and it was great laughing with you.